Hi, I'm Judi Tyabji. Thank you very much for joining us today. Today we're doing a show that's actually very different from any other show we've done in that Czech TV and this program supports the Victoria Symphony and the Victoria Art Gallery. And so, to make a long story short, we actually contributed part of today's show to their efforts. And as I say, it's a long story, but we are going to bring you something very interesting that has to do with Christmas shopping, and we will have a fashion show segment. And that's the part that has to do with the contribution. Anyway, today we're going under the heading of personal issues. As you know, we've talked about lifestyles, relationships, and we are looking at risk planning again in the future. Today we're talking about Christmas shopping and two different aspects of it, although all of it comes under the heading of local retailers and how they compete and how they manage with a lot of the bigger fish in the market. We're also looking at, as I said, the fashion and educational toys. So later in the show, we'll show you a little bit of a toy report, and we also will have someone from the education station. But first, we want to show you a story that aired last night on the 5:30 news, talking to some people who say that the economic climate right now is affecting their ability to purchase. Let's take a look.
I'll put this in a bag for you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Sales at Duncan's Red Balloon toy store are up this Christmas, but not necessarily profits. To give sales a shot in the arm, they've had to cut prices. Good news for consumers, bad news for the bottom line.
Well, I'd like to hope that we're going to increase, but our November sales were significantly down over last year.
At the bookstore down the street, special orders and the sale of $80 coffee table books are down.
We're optimistic for this Christmas, but I must say that things are not quite as rosy as they have been in previous years.
The strike at Fletcher Challenge in nearby Crofton is nearing the 5th month, with the hundreds of workers getting only $400 a week in strike pay. Big ticket items are just not moving well.
Last year, I think we sold 9 projection TVs during the early part of December, whereas this year we've only had 2 go out. So it is affecting us that people in our valley are out of work right now.
Retailers are very concerned about the impact of the forest industry, particularly on Vancouver Island, where there have been closures, layoffs, stoppages.
Will you be spending, do you think, about the same as last year, more or less this year?
Less. About the same.
Why?
Because I always have the same people to give to.
At Tony's Boutique in Campbell River, where there's also a strike, the Christmas dresses just aren't selling.
People are just really cutting back compared to past years.
I expect this Christmas to not be quite as good as last Christmas.
But there is some optimism.
Actually, I've been pleasantly surprised in that the sales are as good as we've had in past years.
One thing most merchants can agree on, the next 2 weeks will make or break their bottom line for 97. Philip Campbell, Czech TV News, Duncan.
So we'll talk about toys, we'll show you a fashion show, and we'll be back after a quick break. If you are a retailer and you want to share your story, we'd like to hear from you. Or if you're someone who's having a hard time even getting to the Christmas presents list this year, we'd like to hear from you too. And we'll take your calls to this number after a break.
To help with your Christmas shopping this Saturday and Sunday, almost anything that fits into this Eaton's bag is 25% off. And if it doesn't fit, it's 15% off. Merry Christmas from Eaton's.
Call to order Rogers Me TV now and you could win a trip to historic England.
I'm so into history.
Or one of 10 Sony home theaters. There's over $300,000 in prizes, including a grand prize of $50,000. The earlier you enter, the more chances to win. And with 16 channels for as little as $5.99, you can't lose. Order Me TV today to win. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1.
Quality stands the test of time. Now blend new country furniture with fine antiques from Cobble Hill Country Furnishings. Select from unique pieces. Complement your purchase with country furniture, made to stand the test of time. Fine antiques and fine country furniture are on display at our show home, or visit our store. Cobble Hill Country Furnishings, timeless furniture for your home, inside and out.
Cobble Hill Country Furnishings, tomorrow's heirlooms today.
How can you give someone a taste of something this refreshing, this cool, this holiday season? Give a Brita water filter system. It's a really cool gift.
It's a
This holiday only at Eden's. Choose Poème or Trésor and receive free this 4-piece Lancôme bonus with lipstick and refillable spray.
It's such a fragrant store.
This holiday from Eden's, experience the sense of Calvin Klein with this 5-piece gift set. One for men, one for women. Yours for only $40.
It's such a fragrant store.
And as many of us are thinking about Christmas shopping, how many of us are choosing to shop with local retailers, or how many of us even have enough money to be able to spend what we were spending last year? We have 3 local retailers with us today who are going to talk to us about everything from men's fashions, women's fashions, to educational toys. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be kind of fun. Now, I gave sort of a convoluted explanation at the beginning of why we're here, but you actually supported the Victoria Symphony and the Victoria Art Gallery because you bid on the show.
Yeah, I was keen as mustard, actually. I couldn't resist.
That's right, bidding on the show. So that's where your contribution went to the arts in Victoria.
That's right, yeah.
And actually, I'm really glad you did, because we have a chance to talk about this, and we might not get to it otherwise. Actually, I want to start with you, Kathleen, and just ask you, we've talked a little bit about economic climates and the impact on retailers. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're certainly experiencing that. It happens. It's an issue that we deal with every day as a retailer in Victoria. I suppose being a little more independent, it gives us an opportunity to address it closer.
Now you're with Fashion 8. Now that's a
Yes.
store you started about 8 years ago, is that right?
8.5 years ago, almost 9.
Almost 9
Started in a
years.
snowstorm,
Yeah.
and things got better.
Okay, interesting. You don't have too many snowstorms in Victoria. And I should mention, I'm actually wearing one of your suits today.
Thank you.
And in that case, obviously, you look for quality, and many of your things are made in Canada and designed in Canada.
That's correct. It's really a pleasure to feature so many Canadian designers. That's lots to offer there.
Okay, and that leads to you, Philip, with British importers, and that's similar to some of the sort of, what, Harry Rosen, British importers, that sort of premium line of clothes.
Very similar. Very similar.
Yeah, we'll have to be careful. But in your case, what do you think that Canadian businesses or small businesses might offer that you can't get at some of the bigger chains?
Well, in stores like a Harry Rosen or like a British Importers, we tend to be more exclusive in the kind of product that we offer. Mm-hmm. We tend to be more careful about the kind of things that we're shopping for. Right. We're looking for, we're more expensive generally than the department stores, or stores like mine are anyway. Although we are still, value is still a keynote, the product has to be competitive at its level. It has to be, it has to stand up well, it has to fit properly, it has to look good, it has to be exciting, but at the same time, we are geared to the business people, so it has to be normal enough to wear to work.
Normal enough, right? And like some of the fashion shows you see on those cable stations, you go, who would wear that stuff?
Yeah.
I want to bring you into this, Kevin. I was really surprised when you arrived today because you're very young.
Yes,
Okay.
I suppose I am. Yes,
you're very young, and you own 4 stores.
That's right. We just opened our 4th one in Abbotsford about 2 months ago.
Okay, the education station, and we're going to show some of those toys a little bit later, but you were 21 when you started this. Why did you enter this, become a local retailer when there's Toys R Us and Zellers and all those?
Well, basically what happened was I graduated from the University of Victoria, and I went out trying to find a job. And of course, there was no jobs at that time. Still aren't many jobs for young people, especially without experience. So I just decided that, well, one way to get ahead is to start my own job.
Well, how did you get the money together, and how did you
I was
be a very convincing person?
Yeah, I was fortunate at that time. The government was sponsoring small business startup loans, so I was able to take advantage of that program.
And things have gone well.
And they've gone fairly well. Yes, they have.
Okay, I have to ask you then, is it just because you can't get enough of playing with toys?
Yeah, I think
I mean, some of the things that you've brought over here are pretty good. At this time of year, is this what carries you over for the rest of the year,
yeah,
Christmas?
Certainly. We do about 40% of our business in November and December. So.
And have you noticed any changes?
It's a little slower this year. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what I can attribute to. Perhaps it's the weather. People weren't getting into the Christmas spirit.
Because it was too warm.
Yeah, it was too warm.
So we can blame it on El Nino?
Yes, that's right. Another El Nino effect.
I should let the viewers know too, if you are a retailer, or if you're someone who's a shopper and you want to talk about the differences in service, I'd love to hear from you. One thing that I wanted to mention is that I've been doing a little bit of shopping around. Now, one of the problems with small retailers is they're not open as often as the big chains. So that's a bit of a problem if you work a lot. But by the same token, you go to those large stores and you can't get the service you get at a smaller store. I mean, you can ask someone, and they may be well-intentioned, they don't know where anything is, and they can't tell you what it is you need to know, and that's a hugely frustrating thing. Actually, I want to go back to you on this, Kevin, with toys, especially if you're trying to get really quality toys for your kids. Do you guys do a lot of research on this?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of research. We use the Canadian Toy Testing Council report for a lot of our buying decisions, and we do a lot of hands-on play. Make sure the toys are going to stand up and that they're actually fun, because to be educational is one thing, but they have to be fun as well.
Right. And Kathleen, someone who's been running your own business in Victoria, what are we going to see a little bit later, and how will that affect you as a retailer?
In spring, you mean just for
No, I meant in terms of the fashions we're going to
Oh, we get to talk about fashion.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Well, for immediate, what's happening right now is, of course, burnout velvets. They're very strong. Every day we're selling a lot of velvet, day or evening, which is really a new attitude, a shift in thinking. And going forward into spring, we're going to see a little shift towards a softer dressing.
Okay.
It's not to say that we have to run out and throw out all our slimline pants, but there will be a softer, fuller pant for spring.
Now, with women's fashions, do you have to look that up as well to try to figure out? I mean, I've noticed a real change in women's fashions, and like, you don't want to iron anything, for example.
Oh boy, that is for sure. That's for sure. We're seeing less and less time. The women who shop in the store are very, very busy women, and I think the clothes have to work and do a lot more work than they used to, and they have to be easy. They have to do more than one occasion.
Now, I've often heard people say that women's clothing is not as well made as men's clothing.
I would definitely argue with that.
Would you? Okay, well, it depends where you buy it, I guess.
I think so, and don't forget, we're dealing with top Canadian designers, and so they hang with all the best bodies in New York, in Saks Fifth Avenue, so, you know, I think they're right up there. We can be proud of them.
Philip, I've also noticed that as far as men's fashions go in the last few years, like men's fashions was not really a statement that people made in the past.
They weren't words that go together, no.
No, but men are trying to be much more fashion conscious. I mean, there's actual trends. I mean, there's the different buttons and the double-breasted and all of that. That's something that's fairly new.
It is fairly new. It's actually shifted over the last 10 years, and it's been a slow movement. It needs to be, because men don't have as many options as women do.
Right.
That relates sort of back to what you were saying about how women's clothing isn't as well made, and Kathleen's absolutely right. It is every bit as well made.
Okay.
Sometimes it's more expensive, and that's a production cost thing. And a man comes in and he buys an outfit for work or for evening. He buys a bottom and he buys a top, and that bottom is always a pair of pants, and the top is always a jacket. In women's wear, that's not true. It could be a jacket and a skirt. It could be jacket and pants. It could be a skirt and a top. It could be all kinds of permutations, and
I'm
it takes a while.
enjoying a man telling us all the different things we're going to try to wear.
Gives us all permission, doesn't it?
Given the choices that we have. But yes, it's absolutely true. Men's wear has changed a very great deal, and I don't think it's ever going to change back.
Now, at this time of year, people are frequently buying things for the Christmas season and for the New Year season. But some things are getting kind of expensive. And in both of your cases, I mean, obviously, what would you say to people to say, okay, well, you know, this is why you have to buy something a little more high-end?
Well, you were saying a little earlier about how you can't get any help, or you can't get the kind of help that you want, but they're open late hours. In specialty stores, one of the things that makes specialty stores special is the fact that they have very high level of service. They tend to have knowledgeable staff.
You can get coffee at some stores.
Yes, you can. Now, if you want to stay open till midnight, you have to hire people as a catch-as-catch-can basis, and they don't know anything. They try hard. I don't mean to take anything away from those temporary people, but they often don't get the training that they should, and that starts at management. There's a time issue. If you're selling expensive things, you have to, even if you're selling inexpensive things, you really have to know what you're talking about. If you don't, you can't offer the service to the customer, and that's where your frustration, I think,
We have to take a quick break, but another thing, just to, while you're on the break, if after the break, if people want to ask you what kind of toys you would recommend, will you be prepared to do that?
Sure.
Okay, because that's important, because we're going to also show you a few things from the Toy Council report a little later as well. But if you're wondering about what to get, and we'll also show some of the, like the Talking Globe and stuff. Anyway, we'll take a quick break, we'll come back, and we're doing a fashion show in the next segment, which should be kind of interesting.
Tyabji is brought to you in part by Metro Lexus Toyota, leaders in customer satisfaction.
My pie pastry's got to be light and flaky to satisfy my family.
Carol Chudley, professional baker.
My secret, Crisco shortening. Crisco makes pastry light and flaky. It even guides you step by step with really easy baking tips. Here's my Crisco favorite. Roll the dough over wax paper. It's easier to handle, and less handling helps Crisco pastry bake up light and flaky. And Crisco is all vegetable, 100%.
Delicious. Cooks who know. Trust Crisco.
I knew there had to be a perfectly good explanation why my regular pad didn't work as well at night. It wasn't made to work when I'm lying down. Then I tried new Always Ultra Thin Overnights. They're so thin and so much better because when I lie down, they cover more of the places my regular pad misses. They're longer front to back with wings that cover side to side. So I get better protection where I need it all night long. Very smart. New Always Ultra Thin Overnights. Better coverage for better overnight protection.
To help with your Christmas shopping this Saturday and Sunday, almost anything you can cram into this Eaton's bag is 25% off the regular price. Designer fashions, accessories, pots and pans, shoes and pillows. If it fits in this bag, it's 25% off. And if it doesn't fit, it's 15% off. Merry Christmas from Eaton's.
What's with the plastic picnic wear? Why don't you try ours? You afraid it isn't clean?
Oh, I see the help. It's a judgment call.
TriStar Pictures presents
He's a freak show. He's the worst person I ever met.
a comedy from the heart that goes for the throat.
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability. Jack Nicholson, as good as it gets.
Maybe he has nice friends.
Now playing in theaters everywhere.
Today we're talking about Christmas shopping. Our guests are Philip Myron, he's with British Importers. Kevin Higgs is with the Education Station, 4 stores in the province. And Kathleen James is with Fashion 8. And all three of them are owner-operators and local retailers. And we are now going to show you, and you guys are going to do this. So I'm actually handing this over now. You have to forgive me for a little clumsy at this. Never done a fashion show before. You're starting, right?
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
Paul is works for us at British Importers. He's wearing an Andrew Mark Napa leather jacket with a light wool lining. You could wear that probably 9 months of the year. Or if it's like last year, you could wear it every day of the year.
Right.
He's wearing an Italian loose knit sweater from Fiume of Italy.
And his gloves?
In 100% wool. He's got his little gloves to keep his little mittens warm during the cold weather as we move closer to Christmas. And from Hugo Boss, a pair of cotton twill pants, both pleated, and you can see at the bottom, well, maybe you can see at the bottom, they're quite pegged and very narrow. And it looks like $1 million. Keep warm and comfortable. Thanks, Paul.
Good.
Here we go, Sherry. Thank you. Sherry's going to feature first the Nadia Toto vest and bag. Nadia is one of our newest, hottest, fastest rising designers out of Montreal. We love to watch these people as they grow. And she's teamed that back to a beautiful Fashion 8 4-ply crepe skirt and wearing it with a Donna-shaped bodysuit. The jewelry that she's wearing today is all from Karen Palmer, who is also one of our top Canadians. That's including the belt as well.
That's great. Very, very nice.
Thanks, Sherry.
Rick also works with us. In fact, all the models here do here today. It's wearing an olive-colored jacket from Hugo Boss with a second collar on it. Can you turn that up, Rick, just to show the folks what we're talking about?
So that second collar's for those really cold, rainy days.
Yes, it certainly is. Some Super 100 high twist wool pants.
What is a Super 100 wool twist high pants?
That's a long story.
What is that?
Well, it's got to do with the gauge of the fabric.
Okay, I'm not supposed to interrupt you. Go ahead.
So but it's very, very light, very, very durable, comfortable as anything, and the high twist gives it some wearability and tends to resist creases. Thanks, Rick.
Anna's showing us first the Fashion 8 private label full-length cashmere coat. And she's teamed that back with her accessory for a velvet scarf. We just can't keep velvet scarves in the store this year. The burnout is very strong. And so I think that this year is going to be a nice year to have a cashmere coat in your wardrobe, just in case we end up with the snowstorm we did last year. Now underneath her coat, Anna's showing a typical private label suit. This is a 3-ply crepe this time, and it's in the new charcoal color, which we found exciting to put back with black. Charcoal and black is a very European thing to do.
Everything's very somber, I notice. All the colors are, sort of fall.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
That's time of year.
Well, you and I are both in black suits, so what
that's
the heck?
right.
Okay.
If you just look around and see what we actually wear, that's what happens.
Right.
And she's wearing it with her ivory-colored camisole. So that's a nice look together, and of course it has a skirt back at the store to go with it to make a good 3-piece outfit.
Very nice.
Thank you, Anna.
Peter Gill is wearing a Hugo Boss coat made out of cashmere and wool, very long, very, very lightweight, geared to our climate. That's the way we buy it. I don't think anybody else in the country does because it's not heavy enough.
Right.
We've got a 2-button Hugo Boss jacket, taupe with black, and a little what we call a bird's eye. It's a 2-button, and what we're seeing out there is lots of 3 and 4, but his is got a little higher button stance, very, very current.
Very classic.
Belt, black pants. You can't go wrong with black if you buy black 90% of the time. A lightweight merino wool mock neck from Mondo di Marco, which is also very lovely. And this is dressy enough to wear to the casual Friday office. It's dressy enough to wear to dinner. Very elegant, very simple.
Great.
You could take off the jacket and put on the leather and go out grocery shopping. It'd look like $1 million. Thanks, Peter.
Which is important when you're going grocery shopping.
It is.
Louise Ganong works for us at Fashion 8. She's showing you the Hillary Radley outerwear coat. This is a 4-season coat, actually. Has a removable lining, which I think is important in Victoria. It also has a Teflon coating, which is a tremendous new discovery in fabric. If you have it dry cleaned approximately 10 times, you're going to lose some of that Teflon coating. So you just throw it into the actually clothing dryer, and it brings the Teflon back up.
Wow.
Now what Louise is wearing underneath is a Ross Mayer beautiful, it's called seamed, and the seams are actually on the outside of the jacket. And she's showing it with what we are just amazed it's happening right now in the store is the burnout velvet scarves. Now you can wear it either over her shoulder like that or over the back, whichever you like.
Very nice. Okay.
Rob Merrick, also one of the BI boys, wearing a double-breasted suit
BI
from
boys?
Arnold Brandt. All the boys at BI.
Okay.
Arnold Brandt is a Canadian designer. Like most of the Canadians, they use findings and fabrics from overseas, mostly from Italy, but you can find them anywhere. The dress shirt is a crisp white single 50s cotton in British Importer's own private label. And
that's a triple button, double-breasted.
yes, it is. That's the way it's moving. That's called a 3x2, where there's 3 rows of buttons, 2 of them to do up. You always leave the bottom one undone.
Okay.
It has no vent. It's got small bottoms on the pants, and very elegant, very dressy. Beautiful. Thanks, Rob.
Now this one is fabulous.
This is Donna Jessup. She happens to be one of our Fashion 8 women. Showing Ross Mayer.
Good dig.
I wanted to show this Ross Mayer as well, again, the second suit, because he is such a rising star in Canadian fashion, and he has a love affair with fabric. This is a satin microfiber. It feels phenomenal on. All the beading that you see on this jacket has been hand done, which I think is
And it's all
pretty neat.
Canadian then.
It's all Canadian. This is the kind of suit one would just love to have to cover off all that cocktail thing that happens in
Oh, I
our
like
lives.
that slit. That's very nice.
The slit is great. Yeah. It's just great. Thank you, Donna.
Okay, well that's
Nice
very
feminine
nice.
form.
Very nice. And we have a couple of people waiting to ask questions too, so we'll have to ask them now. And as I say, the questions can be wide open. Anything to Christmas shopping, and also toy advice, because we want Kevin to be participating. In the next section, we'll show you a talking globe, which I'm quite interested in. But first, we'll talk to Barb in Nanaimo, and thanks to the models. Good job. Yeah, go ahead, Barb.
Hi, thank you very much. I would first like to say that I very much like your show, and I really enjoy the issues that you present.
Right.
What I have today is just a comment. I think that what we're seeing is probably a growing trend. People will probably be spending a lot less at Christmas, is my opinion, as a young parent, the parents of today are faced with some very real realities of having to plan for their own retirement and their children's educational future. And I think as a result of that people are actually being quite responsible in regard to dealing with that.
Okay, well, thank you. I think that's actually a very good comment. I think you have seen people, it's called minimalism, I guess, is this new movement. Do you get a lot of comments on any of those things? Any one of you, actually?
Well, I'm big on maximalism.
Yeah, well, of course, you're a retailer.
But she's absolutely right. Of course, people are being more responsible. They are being more careful. I think that's part of a trend overall in the market, that people are having to prioritize where their cash is going to go.
Sure, especially as you say,
So
young
if it's
parents.
education or if it's schooling
And I want to
of
ask you,
any
Kevin,
kind.
how much did that have to do with your decision to go into business, actually? People wanting to have, the more quality or doing a little bit of homework before they spend their money.
Oh, certainly. There's been there was a great need for that type of store in Nanaimo, and people really are concerned because they have so little money to spend that they want to make sure they get the most bang for their buck. They want to make sure that they're spending the money wisely.
Right.
So that's why we're doing okay. They're coming in to see us. We can help them out, and we can suggest appropriate toys for them.
Okay, and some of them are not very expensive either,
No.
which is great. Okay, let's talk to Kathy now in Victoria. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
I've noticed that there seems to be a lot more boy toys out there.
Okay.
I've got 2 daughters and 1 son. I cannot find a thing for him that is not war or violence oriented. I don't want any of that in my house.
Yeah,
my kids are not allowed war toys.
Yeah, well, I think that's an excellent comment. Thank you for that. I agree with her. It's also with boys' clothing. Sometimes you can't find anything without a decal on it. But what are your comments on that?
Well, I mean, definitely you go into the Walmart or Zellers and you look at the boys' toys, and they're all mainly action figures. We offer an alternative to those type of toys. We do have plenty of toys for boys and girls with non-violent and also non-sexist messages.
Now, when you say non-violent and non-sexist, like what?
Well,
I mean, we should look at maybe some of these toys. I don't know if we can do that right now, or maybe we'll do that after the break. But like, can you break down boys' toys, girls' toys? I mean, I know that there's like, you see the big pink Barbie section when you go shopping.
Right.
But you don't carry Barbies in your store.
No, we don't carry Barbies. We try not to define the toys using male or female.
Okay,
the toys.
We're looking at some of them, I think, right about now. There's the globe. Okay.
Right. For instance, the Geo Safari talking globe would be. I mean, that's unisex.
Now, what's a talking globe? Are you going to demo that later, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a Geo Safari talking globe. All right. And then there's also some little things that you brought in on the table, that like space age crystal growing kit.
Right. Now this is a kit that you can use to grow actual crystals. There's a little bit of chemistry. You have to heat it up on your stove, so it's recommended for children about 12 years and up.
And parent supervision.
With parent supervision.
Yeah.
And when they're finished, they have a solid, stable crystal.
Is that what we're looking at below that? No.
Yes.
That was grown from that kit?
Yeah, that's grown from those kits.
That's amazing.
And the kits can grow six different crystals.
Okay, and the 2 little toys there, those are for younger kids?
Those are actually locally made.
Right.
It's a company called Papa Geppetto's, which has enjoyed a lot of international success. They now export to 90 different companies.
Wow.
And these are a toy that's suitable for children about 6 months and up to about a year and a half. And it's nice because they can grip it real easy with their little fingers. And it's just
and shake it around.
Neat, yeah, real neat toy.
Okay, and the other thing you brought in, I think those are also the make-a-face things, so it's creative.
That's right, and that's also a local company.
Right.
And what the child does is they apply this gauze to their face, and when they're finished, they have a cast of their face, and then they go and decorate with the paints they're supplied.
Right.
So it's a neat little gift.
Okay, so we're over time for a break, and we should do that, and we'll come back and we'll take your calls on whatever you'd like to talk about with respect to Christmas shopping. We'll be right back.
Been watching the free preview of the new cable package? We hope you've had a good laugh with the Comedy Network. Spent some quality time with History Television. And enjoyed some home life with Home and Garden Television Canada. Just 3 of the many channels in the new cable package. The free preview ends soon. To order, call 1-888-591-1997. You could win great prizes, so turn on, tune in, and enjoy.
Whoa! There's a blizzard coming your way. It's the famous Dairy Queen Blizzard Flavor Treat, and it's free. Because right now, when you purchase any super value meal at participating Dairy Queen stores, it comes with a free Blizzard. Imagine any 12-ounce Blizzard Flavor Treat absolutely free with a super value meal of your choice, including grilled chicken or ultimate home-style burger, along with fries and a soft drink. Talk about super! For hot eats, cool treats, think DQ.
To help with your Christmas shopping this Saturday and Sunday, almost anything that fits into this Eaton's bag is 25% off. And if it doesn't fit, it's 15% off. Merry Christmas from Eaton's.
Stop ignoring me! Those engineers put me here because you need Jet Dry in your rinse cycle. Give me some Jet Dry. Let me fight that residue. Hallelujah! Look at that! Brilliant!
Jet Dry.
Mwah.
Your dishwasher was designed for it.
My husband used to exude confidence. Now he's plagued by anxiety and fear. He used to delight in the simplest pleasures. Now he can't perform the simplest tasks. His face used to light up when he saw me. Now he's not always sure who I am. But then I barely recognize him anymore. My husband is 55 and he's been stolen from me. But there is help and there is hope.
Our question of the day today, when you go shopping, do you look to buy locally made products? Why or why not? Here's some of your comments.
I try to shop locally always. Buy all my presents in Duncan if I can.
If I can, I usually try to buy locally, but it all depends on the prices and what I like.
When you shop, not necessarily for Christmas, just in general, do you try to buy BC or not?
I try and shop locally, and I try, yeah, pretty much. But if I can't find it here, I'll probably head into Victoria.
When you do buy not just Christmas gifts or any kind of thing, do you try to buy locally made products?
Yes. Actually, more so second-hand products.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Why? Because usually I'm fairly good shopper, so I usually find really good deals that are still in good shape.
And we're talking about Christmas shopping, and as I say, I mean, you can ask certainly any questions, things like returning products or, you know, fashions that might go out of fashion very quickly. I'm going to show you right now something called the Toy Report, and it's for, actually my father-in-law gave this to me some time ago. I was supposed to do a show on this a while ago, and the Toy Report is published each year. Where I think we're trying to take this way? Okay, sorry, wasn't holding it right. Anyway, this is toward me. Oh, I get it. All right. I've got a voice in my head. Okay, this Toy Report is something that actually allows you to do quite a bit of research if you'd like to do it on toys before you buy them. And I think that's quite important because some toys, if you're going to put out, even if you're, you know, you can only afford $20, $30, you certainly don't want to get it home and then after they unwrap it, find that it doesn't work. So anyway, we wanted to let you know a little bit about some of the things they'd highlighted. Now there's over 200 pages there. So we've just picked out a couple of them in different age categories, and I'll share that with you. It's published each year, the Toy Report, with sponsorship from Canada's Today's Parent magazine, and it's put together by the Canadian Toy Testing Council, and as we heard Kevin say, that's one of the things he refers to in putting together toys for his store. It has toys, you know, okay, well, I'll come back and give you an information package. Are you ready now? Okay, this is very funny. Anyway, today, yes. It has toys categorized by age, price, and quality, and also identifies good products for travel or for birthday gifts, which is great. Canada has some of the safest toy standards in the world. The Product Safety Bureau inspectors check toys which are manufactured in or imported to Canada. Examples of some of the top recommended toys by age are ages 0+ and under $20, the Dolphin Swing with adult supervision. This allows for good activities. The Stack and Build Blocks and Float is simple but keeps children happy, and the Baby Banjo has a built-in tambourine to allow for early musical play. Ages 1+ under $30. The Beach Backpack has toys and a carrying case. Crayola preschool washable markers are creative and easy on parents, and Mega Blocks are a good start for children's construction. Ages 2 and over under $30. Easy Score Shuffleboard lets children start early on this game that is colorful and popular with seniors. The Sound and Sight Animal Puzzle teaches shape, texture, and sorting, and the Catch and Count Fishing Set is a good educational game. For children over 8 and gifts under $30, the Rainbow Dragon Kite is a multicolored nylon kite that is easy to handle. Modeling is a kit which helps children make fridge magnets, key rings, and other basic ceramics with 7 colors and a rolling pin. And for educational fun, try Sky Science or Spy Science, both under $15. And both which have a number of activities for curious children, including how to make your own burglar alarm or how to track weather patterns. And the best bet for a computer game for children over 13 comes from Sierra and is called Shivers. It runs about $50 to $60, so a little bit more expensive, and challenges the players to take on the mission of tracking some missing children. And some of those might sound familiar to you.
Yes, they do, yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. We're going to take some calls, and in the next segment you can show us the globe. Okay, let's start with Greg in Abbotsford. Hi, Greg.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thanks. Go ahead.
It's a good show you're running here. I support you 100%.
Well, that's
I
nice.
just have a comment to throw out there. I don't know if your panel is aware of it, but there was a study in England, and they found what brought this up was that young toy you had there with the soft plastic in it, the liquid.
Right.
Apparently, they're finding that the enzymes in the mouth break down in the plastic, and there's a considerable illness and sickness happening, and they're banning them in England.
Right, and I know which one you're talking about, and I think that's very important to raise, actually. Do you know which study he's talking about?
I've heard of the study. Unfortunately, I'm not really intimate with it. I'm not exactly sure.
It was just a couple of, I guess it was about 6 weeks ago that they started to do it. Now, everybody should be aware, though, that when these toys are brought into Canada, they do some testing. They weren't testing for plastics moving until after that story broke. And then the next day, the Health Protection Branch of Canada actually said that they are going to retest those toys with that in mind. So I would assume that if there's a problem, we're going to hear about it.
Oh, certainly.
Now, is that something you can help people find out about if they come to see you?
Oh, sure. Yes, we should.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to talk now to Pat in Victoria. Hi, Pat. Are you there? Okay. Oh, wait, let's try again. Pat in Victoria, are you there now?
I am here.
There we go. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is, does anybody have any idea where I can find a marionette for my granddaughter? She has put that on her Christmas list.
Isn't that something? Did she see the Sound of Music or something?
I think maybe it's something that they've had at school. She's up in Dawson Creek.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a great question. I know. And?
Unfortunately, we don't carry marionettes. We have a wide selection of puppets, but I think...
You have puppets?
Oh, yeah, we have puppets. Okay. A lot of hand puppets, some really nice ones. In fact, they were ranked one of the top 10 toys this year from the Canadian Toy Testing Council.
Okay.
I believe, though, that there's a toy store in Market Square, Foxglove Toys, which I believe has some marionettes.
Okay, and if not, well, that's very nice of you to promo your competitors too. But I think that's the whole point, is to talk about everything that's out there. Let's talk to Lynn now in Powell River. Hi, Lynn.
Hi there. Yeah, I missed the young man's name there, the toy stores.
Kevin Higgs?
Yeah, do you have a toy store in Courtney? I'll be going over next week, and I want to get something for my 13-year-old nephew.
Okay, well, that's a very good question.
No, I'm sorry we don't. Not yet. Victoria, Nanaimo, and Abbotsford are
Now, when people are looking for educational toys, are there other places that they can go that focus on that?
There are. We're lucky here on the island. We have more independent toy stores per capita than almost anywhere else in Canada.
Okay.
So we're really quite fortunate. In almost any independent toy store, if you pop in there, they could help you out.
Okay, but if she's going to Courtney...
She'll be passing by Nanaimo, perhaps.
No, not from Powell River.
Oh.
No, you go straight over there.
Need that talking gold.
So
That's right.
That's right, that's right. Okay, let's talk to Peter in Victoria. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
I'm just phoning. I've raised 4 children as a father, and I tried to make Christmas for them, though I was on a fixed income.
Right.
But then after I retired from my job, I became Santa Claus in one of the malls.
Right.
And the thing that children would ask for would be what was drummed into their head
Right.
by the
Television.
television.
Yeah.
But that was the top thing. I didn't know what a Ninja Turtle was till after I went to find out in the store what they were asking for.
Right. Well.
But I always give them 3 choices. I said, now your mother, you've written a letter to Santa, ask what you want the most,
right.
but give me 2 other choices, because sometimes I run out of things that are needed, and it gives the mothers an out.
Right.
But they asked for things. Most children were asking for their homes, their mothers, their fathers, and even having their little brothers or sisters got rid of. But other than that, they just wanted somebody to love them, talk to them.
Oh, isn't that nice? Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us. He raises a point that I think is very important, especially if you're a local retailer. Television is the most powerful medium, basically, as far as getting a message out. And I notice with our kids, we frequently have to talk to them about some of the messages in TV so they don't ask for some of the things that, like those Tamagotchis, and they're like, no. How do you, as any one of you, as local retailers, get a message out there when you don't have the bucks to buy into TV ads?
Go ahead.
Well, I think we have to work harder in a way, but we talk constantly to our already converted customer. We do a lot of in-store shows. We do a lot of community work, volunteer work. I think that's what we have to do
So
today.
it's networking, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay. And in your case, Kevin, with toys especially,
Right.
you probably don't advertise on YTV, I'm just guessing.
No, we don't. No, unfortunately, we can't afford that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the nature of the business. We're in TV advertised toys. Definitely, children ask for them. I mean,
but most of the stuff in your store has never, ever been on TV. I mean, I went into your store. Actually, the reason you're here is because I went into your store because there were toys there I'd never seen before.
Right. Well, we do our buying differently than the big guys like Toys R Us and the Walmarts. They buy their toys based upon advertising dollars. What's going to be advertised the most on TV? Well, they're going to buy a lot of that. We do our buying basically through research with groups like the Canadian Toy Testing Council.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that the other ones actually stock their shelves based on advertising.
Oh, of course they do. Oh, there's no doubt.
Boy, okay. Well, you learn something new every day. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We're taking more of your calls, and we're talking about Christmas shopping. And if you need advice on, especially on toys, I have to tell you that this time of year, I know a lot of us could use some help. Anyway, we'll be right back.
Why I hate to blow my nose. My hands get all wet and icky. My nose looks like it's on fire. Ouch.
For a tissue your kids might actually want to blow with, try Soft Royale. With so much kitteny softness, it's the softest Royale ever. And Royale is also strong.
Hey, not icky. It's like a pillow on my nose. I'm blowing my nose. It makes my nose happy.
Royale, soft on the nose, strong for the blows.
Okay, I'm finished. Bye-bye.
We all want the mildness of ivory.
Hey.
Oh, you got your ivory. It doesn't have any additives or strong perfumes. That's why I trust the purity of ivory. It's mild on her skin and ours.
Who's got my ivory? For healthy-looking skin, the look is pure ivory. For a different experience, try Ivory Moisture Care Body Wash with moisturizers.
Who's the next name on my list? What's that special someone's wish?
We're opening early this Saturday for our last Super Saturday and Sunday of the year this weekend at Sears. All across Canada, you'll find huge store-wide savings on all furniture, major appliances, hardware, bed and bath fashions, women's dresses, and lots more.
It's your Christmas wish store. Come see the merry side of Sears.
Did everybody forget how to set hair? Well, steam in some style with Conair's Curl Care. Gentle, velvety rollers, moisturizing mists take you from no style to soft, sexy, lasting style. Nobody sets style like Conair.
Jumbo Metrics by Conair, the ultimate styling tool for every new fashion trend in hair. With enough attachments to crimp, straighten, and curl, including a brush for softer effect or a smoother look. It's a mini salon in one.
And we're talking about Christmas shopping. We're taking your calls. And actually, just before we go back to the phones, then you're going to show us your Geo Safari.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see that. And it actually even has its own microphone, so you can hear what it says. The Talking Globe. And I noticed this is actually an updated globe, so it even has, Russia, for example, and all the different little Soviet countries.
Right, it is an accurate globe.
And Quebec is
nice.
still in Canada.
It's still in there,
Okay,
you
well,
bet.
that's important.
Okay, so I'll just turn it on here.
Okay.
Oops.
Hi, ready for a game?
Okay.
Sure.
How hard is it to use?
Okay, we're all set.
It's actually really easy to use.
Press go to begin the game.
It prompts you.
Okay.
The capital of Finland is Rome, Canberra, Buenos Aires, Helsinki.
So it's like a
So it's a multiple choice,
Yeah.
and kids can do the research on the globe here. And
neat.
you can put in your time limit and also the skill level. So I just happen to know that that's, at least I hope, and that means I got it right.
You got it right.
Correct.
You've played this before.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's go to the next question.
Now this got a Platinum Award Top Electronic Toy Oppenheim Toy Portfolio.
Right, which is another toy testing group. They're from the States, and the Canadian Toy Testing Council gave it a good rating last year as well when it first came into the market.
Best 50 Toys, Teacher's Choice Award,
You bet,
Learning
it's
Toy
won
of the Year. Okay, so it's
all
gotten a
kinds
lot
of
of
awards.
awards. Right, well,
For
that's
sure.
interesting. So do a lot of people come in and get,
Oh.
what was that?
Forget about me?
Well, if you don't play with it for a couple of seconds,
Oh,
it
man.
reminds you. So.
It's like a big Tamagotchi there. Feed me. Oh, man. One of the cameramen was saying, oh, is it telling you, I'm too hot. Reduce emissions. Okay, let's talk to Stacy in Port Alberni. Hi, Stacy.
Hello. I just have a comment. I just caught onto your program here just recently, and my view is to maybe try and change the focus of Christmas, the consumerism. Just that last comment you made about the earth. I mean, not to belabor the environmental thing.
Well,
but
belabor it. Why not?
I
It's kind
wonder.
of important.
I said to a friend the other day, it was sort of funny, but I wonder what we're going to do in 20 years with mounds and the kids, or 30 years, they're going to be thinking, what were they thinking making, 5 billion Winnie the Poohs and Tigers and stuff,
Right.
Well, and that's just my main concern. I ran into a friend who has a child, and the wooden blocks still work.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I think that's a very, very good comment, and thank you for that perspective. It's so easy for many of us to lose sight of what Christmas really is. I mean, it's not about shopping and consumption. How often do you as retailers, and I ask you, Philip, you network quite a bit in the community, both of you do, but do you run across people saying that to you, I just don't want to be consuming so much, I'd rather buy one suit that'll do me for 10 years, 15 years?
Yeah, you do hear that a lot, and we talked about that a little earlier about prioritizing money and that kind of stuff. I think that given how much business is transacted at Christmas, given how many jobs for at least a 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 week period is created for young people, for anybody that wants to work full-time or part-time, the chances of it becoming less commercial are probably, I would think, slim. What we try to do at our operation is we try to add back a little bit to take the edge off the commercialism so that people can feel more comfortable about what they're getting and what they're buying. You don't have to spend a fortune on Christmas to... It really is the thought that counts.
I notice a lot of retailers as well, retail associations getting plugged into some of the community food drives, and
absolutely.
Czech, for example, has the drive-through coming up on the weekend.
Absolutely.
And you don't carry Winnie the Pooh either.
Uh-oh.
Do you?
Yeah.
You do? I didn't see it there. I saw
No,
the
actually,
blocks,
don't
I saw
carry
the
the
wooden blocks, and
Yeah,
I saw
we
the
have wooden
brio,
blocks, that's right. Wooden
which is
train
great,
sets.
Lego, and all those
That's
kinds
right.
of things.
We do have some stamps, Winnie the Pooh stamps, and we do have the classic Pooh. A couple of them, not millions.
Okay. Well, let's talk to Kathy in Maple Ridge. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
I was wondering what the age recommendation for the Globe is and what the price is on it.
Okay, well, those are two good questions.
The age recommendation, it's for ages 8 and up. There are different skill levels that you can set, so it's something that the child can grow with.
When you say different skill levels, like for a year or two or for 4 years? Like, I mean, is it something that they can use in high school as well? Or?
Oh, sure, certainly they
Hey,
can.
never mind high school. What am I thinking?
Yes.
It tells you where things are
That's
on the
right.
planet.
That's what
we
you
can use
need.
that probably
That's
till we're
right.
about 50.
Yeah, and the price on the Globe is $119.99.
And that's for the computer.
And that's for the computer and the Globe. That's right.
Because it has a computer in the base?
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard to tell on TV.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk to Lois in Victoria. Hi, Lois.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
I'm enjoying your program. The gentleman that sells men's clothes, I'd like to ask him a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In regards to a pet peeve I've had for a few years.
Okay.
My husband takes a 32 shirt sleeve size.
Is that
What's
long?
the question?
I want to know what happened to it. All you can buy is a 33, 32, and you're told that the 33, if you move it over to the button, will fit a 32. Sir, I'm a dressmaker. It doesn't wash.
Okay, well, that's a very technical question, but I'm
That's
sure it's not
actually a pretty easy question to answer. The reason that you don't see much in the way of 32 sleeves is because things are more difficult at every level in the economy. Manufacturers are trying to find a way to provide retailers like ourselves with a way to reduce our stock requirements. So what they do is they'll make a 32 and 33 sleeve, they'll make a 34 and 35 sleeve.
Right.
So instead of having to carry a 32, a 3, a 4, and a 5,
Yeah.
I don't have to have 4 white shirts with just differing sleeve lengths. I can only have 2.
Do you adjust them?
Yes, of course,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
In a shop like, in most shops of our ilk, the tailor will move the placket up.
She's very good, your tailor.
Shorten, yeah,
she's very
thanks.
good, yeah.
Shorten the whole sleeve and make it exactly the size you want, and they should do it at no charge.
And that actually is something that both of your stores offer that you don't get at some of the bigger stores. I mean, you may have to pay more for it, but you will get personal service to a T.
Well,
you have files on all your, Kathleen, you have
Yes.
files on every client.
Yes, we do.
You can't get that kind of thing if you... Anyway, we have to take a break, but just before we do, if you'd like some more information on how to contact some of our guests today, British Importers Menswear is in Victoria. It's in the Eaton Centre at 138 Victoria Eaton Centre. And the Education Station, now there are 4 of them, but the one that's most accessible to Victoria or Island people is at 101 1644 Hillside Avenue, Victoria, BC. V8T2C5. And as for Fashion 8, then that's on Government Street.
Corner of Johnson and Government.
Yeah, everybody knows. You could, in Victoria, anyway, they know where you are. Where are you in Abbotsford?
In Abbotsford, we're in Seven Oaks Mall.
Okay.
And in Nanaimo, we're in Woodgrove Mall and Harbour Park Mall.
Okay, now here's something for those of you who have questions about products you're buying and you want to contact BC's Regional Product Safety Bureau. And you should keep this number handy because it's something that could be very useful. You can call 604-666-5003. And that is, they do a lot of testing. Anything that's manufactured in Canada or imported to Canada and has to do with toys, they test it first, so you can get the research on that. And we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Imagine having a baby who can't see you. Trevor has congenital myopia. I went everywhere, and everybody, said he was too small. Then I went to Lens Crafters.
Having the lab right here, I can make almost any glasses in about an hour. I use special earpieces, filed the smallest frames. I'm helping make someone's eyesight.
The way that he looks at me now, I know he sees his mom.
Lens Crafters, helping people see better 1 hour at a time. Call 1-800-465-LENS for the store nearest you.
Hey, you got an autographed Patrick Waugh card. Back. Trade? No way. Come on, I'll give you an autographed Shanahan. No. Okay, I'll give you all my U.S. players. The U.S. players.
The Esso Olympic Hockey Heroes Collection with stars, profiles, and more. A new set every week, just $2.99 each with your free Esso Extra card.
Shanny, what would I do with the U.S. players? Destroy them.
There's a new kind of space travel, engineered for shipping non-hazardous liquids in a new form of energy-saving container. One that holds 5 times the volume of steel drums and takes 20% less shipping space. A corrugated container that is so efficient, it not only uses recycled fiber, it is recyclable, reusable, and biodegradable. Spacecraft, another innovation by Macmillan Liddell, making the most of a renewable resource.
Please call the Variety Club of BC, because all kids need help.
And coming up tomorrow, the Children's Day of Broadcasting, part of a UNICEF project. Monday, hunger and poverty, a different part of the Christmas equation. And then we'll talk about children's access over Christmas for non-custodial parents. And our cloning show is coming up, and on that, I almost feel like we have God versus God. We have Bishop Remy DeRue versus Dr. Jan Friedman, who is the Dean of Genetics at UBC. So that one is going to be interesting. I'm going to be totally out of my depth, but anyway. Okay, we'll go back to the phones right away? Yeah? Okay. We'll start with Judy in Vancouver. Hi, Judy.
Hello. I had a question about short sizes in menswear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I find it's okay to find suits in short sizes, but when you get into something like a 3/4 length outer jacket that you're wearing, I can't find short 36, say, or short 38 anywhere where I'm looking around. I was wondering if you had any ideas where I should be looking.
And this is probably for a Christmas present or something, or?
Yeah, it's actually for my husband for a Christmas present, and just finding it very difficult. I haven't found any special store for short people here in Vancouver.
Okay, well, I think that's an interesting question.
It is. I don't know of any stores that specialize in shorts
can't you
at all on the
tailor it
Lower
as
Mainland.
well? Like if
That
there's
is
a
what I
special
was
thing?
going to say.
Oh, okay.
The difficulty with being at either end of the scale, if you're not average, so if you're smaller or if you're larger, you have less selection. You really need to find someone that can either order something for you or will alter it for you. And again, they should alter it at no charge.
And in Vancouver?
any of the good stores.
Okay. I know we talked about Harry Rosen a little
Harry
earlier.
Rosen,
They'll do
Yale
it.
Lee, any
You guys
number of
sometimes do some work, some tradesies on.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. Let's talk to Reg in Souk. Hi, Reg.
Hi, how you doing, Judy? Good afternoon.
Yeah. Hi. Go ahead.
I'd like to have you say something over the television about safety of products for toys
Right.
for young children.
Right.
Any toy that has a small part to it, and I use example, the G.I. Joe toy.
Right.
It used to be for 3 and up.
Right.
And when the child goes to put the toy in the G.I. Joe's hand,
Right.
it can slip out and go into his eye. This happened to my grandson. He lost sight in his one eye.
Oh, geez.
And now the G.I. Joe toys, I believe, are for 5 and up.
Right. Okay. Well,
And
thank
that
you.
really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Because if this happens, I mean, it can
Yeah, a
happen.
5-year-old too will be just as susceptible.
Yeah,
Okay.
any toy with small parts, you have to be very careful.
Okay, thank you for that. I have the sniffles today. I'm going to let you address that, but I noticed that in the Toy Testing Council's report, they extensively test those kinds of things as well.
Yeah, safety is obviously it's a number one concern with the Toy Testing Council, and we really pay attention. In fact, the Toy Testing Council will highlight toys that are dangerous.
Right, they have little symbols.
That's right.
Do not buy this toy.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why it's important to do some research ahead of time. So it's going to be a good year for you?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
it's a last
interested-
minute
I'm interested
Christmas. and
because
we'll
it's
see.
nice to see a young entrepreneur sort of saying, okay, well, I couldn't get a job, so I'll start a
Yeah.
business, you know. And to the two of you, you already are doing very well, and I hope you have a great Christmas season.
We're laughing. We want to be young too.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, I think of him as a kid compared to me, you know. he's like my youngest sister. Anyway, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to the
Judy.
models. And we'll be right back after a quick break. Great.
America, millions of you have skinny hair. Well, stop hiding it. From Conair, get the big curls, hot air, curling iron, and brush. Styles as it dries, brushes in volume. Nobody's bigger in hair than Conair.
Euro Salon Dryer by Conair combines the best of sleek European styling and advanced engineering. With 1600 watts, 3 heat settings, 2 speeds, and a cool shot button, this hair dryer gives you the power to style quickly with great versatility and control.
Stop ignoring me! Those engineers put me here because you need jet dry in your rinse cycle. Give me some jet dry. Let me fight that residue. Hallelujah! Look at that! Brilliant!
Jet Dry.
Mwah.
Your dishwasher was designed for it. This holiday season, stir her senses. Discover a world of fragrances at the Bay. Celebrate the season with the fragrance that's the talk of the town. Fifth Avenue from Elizabeth Arden. This beautiful gift set, including parfum miniature, eau de parfum spray, and moisturizing body lotion with a $110 value, can be yours for only $60 at the Bay. Your fragrance headquarters this Christmas.
We're at your service. We're at your service. We're at your service.
Orchard Hill apple juice. Oh, they just love apple juice. They have it lunchtime, supper time, whenever they can. Yeah, you want some now, don't you?
Kraft makes a great dressing. Sometimes with chicken or something, you can just pour them over chicken, bake it in the oven. Kraft salad dressings. Guess I just trust the name.
The smiles in the aisle for you.
Happy holidays from Thrifty Foods.
Thrifty Foods.
It's here where you can come out.
So when she said yes, did she say it like, yes? Or did she say it like, yes, yes, oh my God, yes?
Veronica's Closet, tonight at 9:30. Check TV. It's here.
UNICEF has put aside the 14th of December as the International Children's Day of Broadcasting. Since we don't broadcast on the 14th, we're going to present children's broadcasting to you and their subjects tomorrow. Radio. Well, it's very interesting. How do I turn this off? Gone. Okay. Today, actually, it was interesting that some of you raised things. I'm going to have to shoot this thing. Raised very important issues when it comes to Christmas. We did choose to look at Christmas shopping because we like to support local retailers and we like to give them an opportunity to get into a medium that they can't otherwise afford. But I think many of you said that there's more to Christmas than just buying things, and that's absolutely true. And hopefully we'll have at least 1 or 2 shows on that next week. And as for This thing is a very cute computer. Anyway, so tomorrow, the International Children's Day broadcasting. I hope you join us then because they have some very provocative comments. And we'll see you then.
It's here.
It's here.
It's here.
It's here. It's here.
It's here.
It's here.
It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here.
It's here. Check TV.
Today on Canadian Living TV, the etiquette of handshaking. What the hip pooch will be wearing this season.